pretend you have the moral high ground, but you put that man's finger on the nape of your butt. That man doesn't believe in climate change.
This woman is not happy she's sitting next to a Trump supporter. Watch how her failure to settle down leaves her regretting her choices. Despite her disruptive nature, she believes she's done no wrong and refuses to leave.
Let's try that.
Please ask him again if we settle down, if that can be okay.
Even after the husband's offer to trade seats, it's a little too late for this couple, and the two were swiftly escorted off the plane.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can you grab your belongings when you come through?
This is frightening.
Wow.
Folks,
my goodness.
It's Saturday and it's time for Pop and Politics. I'm KJ. Let me introduce you to my co-host. Back with us tonight is Nicole Bennett, Director of Black Conservative Federation, and of course, Shelly E. All right. Always say like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We're here on YouTube and also on Rumble. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the name Pop and Politics. Here on YouTube, your super chats and donations go a long way in helping us produce conservative content. Any amount is appreciated. Folks, this is not just a podcast. This is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. Stand with us, subscribe, so we can amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, ladies, got a lot to talk about tonight. Let's set it off. So what did you got? Wasn't that lady nuts? Shelly, what did you think?
Yeah. Beyond nuts, if there is a thing, this lady is typical of, and she represents very well the leftist mindset. These are the people who claim to be tolerant and, and loving and kind. They have zero idea that, hey, let me just be cordial on a plane, no less. You know why? Because to them, politics is their religion. Okay. Conservatives, Republicans, by and large, do not act like this. Certainly not on a plane in public. These people are, I'm going to say, scary in the sense of the word, not so much to fear them, but just to be aware of them.
Yeah, Nicole, what are your thoughts on that exchange?
I'm so excited that the pilot drew a hard line, that the captain said, no, she's got to go. Because what generally happens is when they behave poorly, we have to be forgiving. We find a space in our heart to chalk it up to Trump derangement syndrome or whatever. But you know what? After much contemplation, I think I'm on the Shelly E train. I've had enough of their foolishness. I have had it up to here with them behaving badly, and we're supposed to just like suck it up. We had the videos of people damaging people's cars because they had Trump stickers and ripping yard signs and that kind of thing. At some point, you can only kick a dog so much before it bites you. And this pilot is like, no, ma'am, you and your husband, sorry for his mother's loss, have got to get out of here. We're not going to have that on this plane. Right. And I think as a movement, we need to adopt that energy.
We certainly do. We are seeing video after video, audio after audio of these people. They are not inclusive. They're very divisive. And not only divisive, they are othering us. Yes. It has become a situation where they want, I would say, harm. They want negativity towards Trump supporters. And this is a situation where most of the country, voted for Trump. He won the Electoral College, and of course, he won the popular vote. And they have become, this is becoming a serious problem. And that takes us to our next clip of the night. And this is, I want to start off, before we get into the mayor of Baltimore, I want to start with Joy Reid. This is what we're talking about when we say these people don't want our country to unite. They don't want to come together. They don't want to agree to disagree. They want to break up families. Take a look at this. This is clip 4.
A challenge with the idea of how do you interact with people who voted for this? right? If you are an LGBTQ person and you know someone in your family voted essentially against your rights, or you're a woman, knowing that, this man was calling people the B word, JD Vance was literally calling Kamala Harris the trash and said, we're going to take out the trash. I know a lot of Black women were incredibly triggered by that. And if you then meet somebody and they voted for the people who called you trash, or if you're Puerto Rican, and someone voted that way, do you recommend, just from a psychological standpoint, being around them? We got the holidays coming up.
So I love that you asked this question, because, there is a push, I think just a societal norm, that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going to a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why, to say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood, and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me. And I actually...
Wow.
So first she's a child psychologist.
Yeah. She's Yale psychiatrist, Amanda Calhoun. Again, she's advising family members to break off ties with Trump supporters. What in the world?
Let me look. These people, they are not just nutty. I've been saying this for I don't know how long. They are mean, okay? They are mean. And I'm saying that in the real sense of the word. At their core, they are mean. Does that mean that any of us, whatever side, does that mean we never do things that are wrong or no? But they are mean at their core. You have a psychiatrist advocating that people separate themselves based on how someone votes from their families and friends, particularly over the holidays. A psychiatrist should be science driven, and to say during the holidays, suicide goes up when you're not with your family and friends. We have mounds and mounds of evidence. So why would you tell people who already have, particularly are prone to mental illness over the holidays, all of those things kind of go out the roof. You're going to tell them to separate from people who love them based on the way they vote. Now, let me say this also. I am not advocating for anyone to be with whomever if you are being abused, physically, verbally abused, if you are being all manner of evil is being done to you. Of course you separate yourselves, family or friends. You separate yourself. You have a right to self-protection. But these people are mean, okay? They are mean. And I'm saying that literally. They are mean. If you want to use the word evil, that's fine. Because nobody, a psychiatrist no less, in their right, healthy, sane thinking will tell people to separate from people who love you and care for you based on how they vote, especially around the holiday times. These people mean no good. They are mean. They are intolerant. They are bigoted. And this is what drives them. Their politics drive them.
Yeah, I agree with every word of that, every single word of that. We have got to get back to talking about things that are hard. We can no longer afford to put our head in the sand and say, well, if I don't say anything, then the issue just goes away. It just kind of festers. Talking about religion, talking about politics, and teaching your kids, especially your younger children, to be open-minded, to hear the other side. You don't necessarily have to agree, especially if it goes against your personal ethics, your personal character. But you do have to listen. You do have to listen, because no one's right 100% of the time. This is advocating for, if I can't have my way, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. This is not how the United States is supposed to be. And over time, what's going to happen is, if you encourage people to continue to isolate themselves, they will become the outliers. They will become the people in the family that we haven't heard from in 6 months, 8 months, a year, and wondering what's going on with, Sheila over here we haven't seen in forever. You have to confront things. Having hard conversations is a big part of adulthood. And to have a mental health professional telling you to avoid having those conversations is just counterproductive. It's absolutely insane.
Absolutely. Yeah. Folks, these first of all, please hit the like button. Hit that like button. We don't have enough likes on this post, guys, this broadcast. We got to get the likes up. We want to increase our footprint on YouTube. We have to, because of people like Joy Reid, like The View. We want to get them out and get more voices like ours in. But beyond that, the Democrat machine, Democrat pundits, they know exactly what they're doing. They are using fear. They are using emotionalism. They are trying to push this idea of racism and division, not because they believe it, but they're doing this because they know the masses, or there's a segment of society that they're trying to get riled up to produce chaos, because this is what Marxists do. And behind the Democrat Party, the fuel of it, the gasoline behind it, is Marxism. And so this is why they know they cannot no longer run on issues. They can no longer run on issues and economy and things like that. So they push fear, name call, demonize us as conservatives, as Trump supporters, trying to split us by socioeconomics, by race, by gender. This is what they are trying to do. And God, I pray that this does not work. I pray it's not working. I mean, maybe this is a sign as the result of this election that it's not working, but they don't have anything to run on. Look at Kamala Harris. Nicole, you were talking about this earlier. Her campaign, she raised $1 billion in money, and now she's in the rears. Is that right?
$20 million short. And, there's rumors going around that her staff isn't going to get paid on time because they're running in arrears. But, Donald Trump, being who Donald Trump is, has, in theory, suggested that he'd be happy to step in with campaign funds to help, because we ran a very, very fiscally conservative campaign. Here's the thing. When you're paying Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, and all these people to come out and stump for you, LeBron James, yada, 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 the problem is these aren't regular people. When you're trying to corral the vote of your average American, you can't line up a bunch of billionaires to talk to me. They don't know anything about not affording your groceries. They don't know anything about having 2 jobs and Instacarting on the weekends to make your ends meet. They don't know anything about that kind of life. So while it's entertaining to see Meg Thee Stallion twerking and Glorilla doing her thing, very interesting to see, it has nothing to do with my day-to-day life, and you don't earn my vote by entertaining me. That's not how that works. They have not yet learned the lesson. When you listen to the things that they're saying, they have every excuse in the book. It's his fault. It's her fault. All of a sudden, it's Joe Biden's fault. I mean, this man is sitting in the White House eating his ice cream, minding his damn business. None of this is his fault. Not one bit of this is his fault. It's 100% their fault. They did not have a primary that allowed them to pick better people. They didn't do that. They coordinated her, jammed her down their throats, and expected America to follow behind. And I could tell you this, I am so proud of the American public who looked at this woman and said, not her. Yeah. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Two things I want to say. Number one, that psychiatrist, I think it was, she said, it's okay that we have to start telling our family and friends, I don't want to spend time with you. You voted against my interests. Notice these people never consider that same mindset works in the opposite way.
Thank you.
You voted against my interests, but okay, we're having dinner. We're having, the holidays, we're together. This is not the time and the place to upset everybody and turn everything upside down. They don't care what they destroy. They don't care how they do it, when they do it, or where they do it. Number two, I want to make a distinction. KJ, you're right. You're talking about the Democratic machine. They don't believe this. They're using these words and these ideas to fuel up people and get them riled up. Well, guess what? the second half to that, the other side of the coin, is that there are people on their side that do believe it. They're groupies, if you will. They're henchmen. They're ground crew, as I'm calling them. These are the people who are wound up, and they do use these people to go out and do their dirty work for them. These are the people that are starting to riot. You see it brewing. These are the people that they use while they sit in their mansions and gated communities in their 24-hour 100% security. These are the people, they're going to be protected from all of that. They're going to be secure, but their ground men will get hemmed up, right? They're going to harm other people. They might get harmed. And as soon as the police and other authorities come to rein them in, then these people, the machine part of it, the elites are going to start yelling, police brutality and all of this stuff. This is on purpose. This is intentional.
Yeah. I do want to acknowledge our super chatters. Thank you all so much. All right. We have Laura Matisse Maldonado. Yes, with a $5 super chat. She says that is all they know how to do. I think they are a cult. Whoopi, Oprah, and all the rest of them. You are exactly right. Thank you. Right. Kung Fu CJ. $5 super chat. Thank you. Says the worst thing you can tell people is we don't debate religion and politics. This is part of life. This is how you mold the youth. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Thank you. All right. Pamu Kenny with the $10 super chat says, love you ladies and the content you share on your YouTube channel. Oh, thank you. We love you guys too. We're a community. We got to stick together. Laura with the $5 super chat again says, hello ladies. Did you check out The View? They are finally looking at the voters, at least 2 of them. Yep. We got that coming up next, Laura. So that is next. So want to get into that. So this is, again, The View. And they, folks, these people are melting down. Oh,
they're losing it.
Gosh, they are losing it. And you know what? I'm here for it. I got to say, I'm here for it. Folks, when Trump gets into office, he needs to change this voting system. We need to go back to one day and paper ballots, and they need to have it scanned so that we know your ballot matches the voter. And if he does it right, we need to get rid of these Democrats and their lying, cheating policies. That's all I'm going to say. So, but on the same line, here we have The View just melting down. This is clip 2.
I disagree.
All right.
I think that I'd like to reframe the conversation. I think Bernie Sanders is wrong. I think the more relevant question actually is what is wrong with America? I think what is wrong with our country that the Republican Party would choose as a candidate and support a candidate who is an insurrectionist, who is an election denier, who is someone who is twice impeached, 34-time convicted felon, someone who has been accused of alleged sexual misconduct by 26 women, found liable for sexual abuse. What is wrong with this country that they would choose a message of divisiveness, of xenophobia, of racism, of misogyny, over a message of inclusiveness, a message for the people, by the people, of the people. That's what the problem is. It's the Republican Party.
But can I say something before? We can do a second. The Democrats are the ones. They are the party that cares for the blue collar voter. The Democrats are the ones who put in Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, union protection,
ACA,
unemployment insurance, and Obamacare. The Republican Party doesn't give a rat's patootie about it.
Clearly they didn't convince the voters of
So all I can deduce is that it's the messaging. It didn't get through to people. They're not paying attention. That's all.
Yeah,
because the Democrats have always been for the working people.
Exactly. And the Republicans don't care about it.
The message of the Democrats sounded elitist. You don't have value in the society.
They
you don't
sounded
have a
that way,
degree.
but when you look at the proof,
but Joy, it's condescending. It's condescending. There is a
condescending.
The way that the left speaks to its voters. It really is
a message of joy and inclusiveness.
No, the message of not being being educated, being dumb, and what's wrong with America.
Who said that?
Sonny just did.
What is wrong with America?
My point here is that
that's not what Kamala Harris said.
No. But my point is, I don't blame Joe Biden. I don't blame Kamala Harris. Go back as far as you want. I blame a messaging within the Democratic Party.
You don't blame the Republican Party
Can I just finish my point, please? I obviously have a problem. Anyone has a problem with Donald Trump. The bigger question should be, yes, Sonny, why did they vote for him?
Yes.
In sweeping.
So they need to be introspective.
No. We need to be introspective. If we voted for Kamala Harris, we need to say what didn't resonate with the voters. Do you know what didn't resonate with the voters? When they were saying we don't feel safe and the left focused on defund the police and bail reform.
Yeah.
When they said we're worrying about. Can I just finish? Let me just finish real quickly. When they were focused on renaming.
It's only an hour show, ladies.
Joy. When they were focused on renaming schools, there were people saying, hey, students are destroying colleges. I paid for that. I sent them there. They can't learn. And everyone apologized for it and didn't want to attend to it. They also denied the border was a crisis and kept saying, no, it's fine. This is not a...
There was a border bill, though. There was a border bill.
Yes, but Joy, my point is they screamed. They didn't vote for him because he's a racist or a misogynist. They voted because they needed help in their everyday lives.
But Sarah,
the majority of this country, because there's every stat coming out on the people willing to self-reflect are showing these.
Oh, wait, they're going to say I'm a racist and a misogynist in the exit poll?
You really think 74 million people are racist? Every racist and misogynist voted for Donald Trump. Not everyone that voted for Donald Trump was a racist and misogynist.
I agree with that.
Everyone swept. They swept every category, and the reason they did is to say, hey, guys, no excuses this time.
Yeah. Look,
they lost everything.
There's still a country that allows its environment to be ravaged, its children to be shot, its wealth to be hoarded, its worker to be exploited, its poor to starve, its cops to murder.
So you think America's the
country in trouble?
So America's
so we go with
and Trump is not going to make it better.
Anna, hold it for the next segment, right? We'll be right back. Hold it.
Wow.
You know.
Shelley, I want to get your response to that.
First of all, I'm still not ready to be gracious. That's number one. Number two, let me tell you something, Sonny. The reason we don't have to be introspective, we won. You don't get it. Sarah, to her credit, Alyssa, to her credit, they are at least trying to figure out and understand whether they agree with it or not. They're at least acknowledging, wait a minute, there's something that we are overlooking here, whatever that may be. But these, again, elitists, I think Alyssa used that word. Sarah said condescending. People have been saying that they don't know us. They don't look in the mirror. Man in the mirror. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. That's not where they start. They are still pointing fingers and they still literally hate us. These other people, again, I said it before, these elitists, these smug. I have an award today. I got to show you my award. This is what I got. I don't know if you can read it. I'll read it to you. It says Certificate of Achievement, and it's going to put the name in here. Today's name is going to be Sonny Hostin. You've successfully achieved the bitch yapper, the bitch snob, or the bitch scum award status with Shelley. And guess what? I even paid for a stamper. Stamp it, bitch, by Shelley. That's it. That's what I got. So these people are, that you cannot reason with them. You cannot reason with them.
Let me say this. First of all, I never want to get an award from you, Shelley. I'm just going to say that. Just super shady. But what I want to say is just looking at the clip, indicative of in what's going on in the greater society. You have two people, Sarah and Alyssa, who are trying to explain, and they're not listening.
Nope.
The American public are these two women who are trying to say, well, wait a minute, you can't defund the police because my neighborhood is trash and things happen and I don't want to be hurt. We have to fix the border because I'm losing my job. My son has to go to a different school because all the illegals are taking up all the free space and available jobs in my community. People complained and they didn't listen. So here are these two women trying to explain to them, good sense now, why things didn't go their way. And they still don't listen. They have not learned a thing. And let me tell you something, as a Republican operative, as a whole problem, because I'm proudly a whole problem for the Democrat Party, a whole problem, I hope they never listen. I can do with 18 good years of Republican rule. You know, J.D. Vance, absolutely. Wes Hunt, I'll have some of him too. Bring them on. They don't get it. They simply don't get it. And they don't even want to get it. They're like, no, we're right. You're wrong. I know he won the popular vote. I know he won the Electoral College. I know they won the Senate and the House, but it can't be us. We can't be wrong. It has to be everyone else. They're not getting the messaging. No, we got your messaging and simply refused it, but you're still not listening.
No.
And I don't know what it's going to take.
Listen. They don't want to listen. And again, this goes back to their victimhood mentality. Absolutely. They want to be victims. They want to use that, funnel that to somehow get into some type of power. They use it to fearmonger and things like that. The whole racism. She went down the line of stuff.
She used all her isms. Yeah. She used all her isms, and
there comes a time. I thought she was joking when Sonny said her retort when she came back and said, "You mean all the joy and inclusiveness?" When she was
she meant that.
She was serious.
She is. So the sad part about it is she's never going to be introspective enough to stop and say, maybe I was a little over the top. Maybe, just maybe, not everybody gets to live the way that I live. Maybe I should probably shut my mouth and open up my ears and hear what they're saying to me. No. Her thing is, no. We're right, you're wrong, and you guys need to fix yourself. And I hope they keep that energy. Keep that energy, because 18 good years of Republican rule, we're going to straighten out a whole lot of stuff in this nation.
I know Dennis Prager has said for years, he said, the conservatives think the left are wrong. The left thinks conservatives are evil. It's that reverse. They don't just think we're wrong. They literally loathe us. And Nicole, to your point, they're not going to ever hear us, people like this. And it has to be, comes a time that I'm certainly comfortable with it. I'm comfortable with not arguing and debating, if you will, with people that. We can be wrong. We can even acknowledge, okay, well, on this area, we're not going to agree. Let's agree to disagree. We can still, but when you have people like this, you just let them seethe. Like that man on that plane. He was just sitting there letting that lady kirk out. And then you let them she was escorted off that plane. The man said, basically, I'm sitting here, I'm going to my flight or wherever he's going. That's it. You don't get yourself vexed up with these people. Now, let me say this caveat. If we were on that show, please sit me next to Sonny. Please sit me next to her.
I just feel so bad for them. I do. I feel so bad for them. No. I feel bad for them because you know what's going to happen? By the time they realize it, by the time they realize what's really going on, they're going to be buried. I mean, absolutely up to their eyelashes in absolute chaos. And from a Christian perspective, I don't understand how someone like Sonny walks on this planet thinking that she's the end all be all. And baby, you're a speck of dust in this universe. She has
That's
no
called
humility.
That's called humility.
No humility. No humility.
She's a narcissist. She's a narcissist. Even the fact that even with Joy Reid and that psychiatrist, I think that the world, every issue, it's all about them. What about us? What about, people like me, who is the only conservative in my family? And what about what I think? What about how I feel about these people who voted against, my interests? I'm not saying why would I want to have dinner with them if you go along with their reasoning and their exactly. It can go both ways, but they don't care. It's all about them. And this
It's
is
that
what
crabs in the barrel. It's crabs in the barrel. Yeah. How dare you have a separate thought?
They wish us ill. This is why they can attempt to assassinate President Trump. That's why he said, it's not me. They're coming there. I'm just the front man. They're coming after you all. They wish us ill. They want to get President Trump in his grave. And that would be the large signal. I mean, a huge signal to the rest of us, you're next. But they wish us ill. We don't wish them ill, even though we disagree with them vehemently.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we have this saying in BCF, we can disagree without being disagreeable. There are a lot of people that don't line up with our particular set of ethics, our particular set of characteristics that we live our lives by. And we're okay with that because, it takes all types. Right. Yeah. And I don't begrudge you your happiness as long as your happiness doesn't infringe upon my rights. We're good. You can be as Looney Tunes as you want to. What you're going to get from me is bless your heart. And I'm going to keep it pushing. Now, I might text maybe 15 to 20 people and talk some stuff about you behind your back. But that's neither here nor there. What I will not do is demonize the people who voted for someone else in good conscience. There are people who actually believe that transgenderism is a thing, right? That trans women are actually women. There are people whose minds work that way. They're wrong, but you're not going to see me, setting my soul on fire to prove to them that they're wrong. Eventually, it will happen. Eventually, it'll happen. But in the meantime, I'm not going to play a part in your delusion. We've got a nation to save. We don't have time for this foolishness.
We certainly don't. We do have to I want to acknowledge our super chatters. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for chatting with us tonight. We see the chat is on fire tonight too. All right, so let me acknowledge these super chatters here. We have Tijuana Border Jumper with a $5 super chat. Says, my Dem supporting sister brought up Trump. I took the bait, and once I defended my position, she blames me as an angry person. We won. No anger needed. Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah. Brown Eyes with the $5 super chat. Did you see that they are trying to get Sonia Sotomayor to step down before Trump takes office because of having diabetes? How crazy. I did see that. Did you all see that?
And these are the people who say you should get have everything at your luxury or whatever. No pre-existing should exempt you. They don't even believe their own stuff.
No. Yeah, Duchess of Mar with the $3 super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kung Fu CJ with the $2 super chat says Joy just mentioned socialism programs. She sure did. She went down the whole list of socialist programs. Laura Matisse Maldonado with the $5 super chat says Sonny needs to be fired. I agree. Finally, Sarah, she should have slapped Sonny. I know. I agree. She should be fired. And this Baltimore City mayor. We're going to get on that next. Damian Cross with the $5 super chat says, love your channel, ladies. Get them, Shelly. Kung Fu CJ with another $2 super chat says, as usual, Shelly is over the top.
Go get him, Shelly. Go get him.
LAPD SWAT with the $5 super chat says, I'm willing to bet that at least one of the cast of The View voted for Trump. LOL. Your thoughts? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh, I agree. I think the cameraman's probably over them. It's like, oh, no.
Yeah. Laura with the $5 super chat says, to be educated, they sure sound stupid to me. Yeah, just because you're educated doesn't mean you're wise. Yeah,
you are.
Brown Eyes with the $5 super chat says, it's been too quiet. Yeah, the Dems are up to something. I know they are talking about not certifying the election before January 6th. Yeah, what do you guys think? Are they playing possum? I would love to hear the chat talk about that. Are these Dems playing possum? Do you think that they really have something going on and they're ramping up for something?
Well, I think they're going to try a little something, but the way that the world works, they screwed over Joe Biden. Then they blamed him for her loss when he handed her a complete team to win this election. He handed her his campaign finance account. He handed her everything. And now it's his fault. Oh, Joe's going to make sure this election is certified. They're not going to ruin any more of his legacy. I think at this point, some of the trolling that we've seen coming out of the White House, all eyes on Monday when everybody's back in the office. The break is over, everybody goes back to work. I would pay anything to be a fly on the wall when that meeting between him and Kamala at the White House. Oh my gosh. I'm going to tell you, there's probably going to be hair pulled, tears. It's going to be a whole hot mess. And I can't wait to hear the rumor mill, what comes out of there, because there's going to be some angry people. If you're Joe Biden's team and you're looking at her going, we could have won this. Look at you. You're a whole hot mess. Then she's posting pictures sitting on the floor playing Connect 4 with her niece and her nephew, like nothing ever happened. Ma'am, are you serious? $1 billion.
Before you get going out, Kung Fu CJ with the $2 super chat says Nicole is on it. Keep it up. That's right.
Thank you.
Nikki Clark with the $5 super chat says, I literally question the intentions of both friends or foe if they are upset that I don't buy into the victimhood mentality. You're right, Nikki. You are absolutely right. Yeah. What's up, guys? We are the ladies of Pop and Politics. And guess what? We have merchandise. We got merch. Check it out. We have a website, www.popandpoliticslive, where you guys can pick up the latest merchandise that we have here. Here's something. I use this every morning for my cup of tea. It's a Pop and Politics mug. Yeah, I drink every morning. Yeah. And I love it. So definitely check it out. We've got some cute shirts on there. Shelly, you have a shirt there that you love, right? Yes. A cute shirt. And so definitely check it out. Again, www.popandpoliticslive.com. Appreciate the support. All right.
Go there now.
Yes.
There you go.
All right. Yep. That's our merch, guys. You can, as we said, popandpoliticslive.com. Get your t-shirts, get your sweatshirts, get your hoodies. We have mugs, pot holders, anything on, a lot of stuff on there for you to support. And again, like I said, we do appreciate the support.
We got 6 more weekends before Christmas. 6 more Fridays.
Wow.
Buy your stuff now. You can buy everything for your whole family on the website. There you go.
Yes. Yeah. But I just wanted to run back to something you said before we talk about Baltimore Mayor. Kamala ran an awful campaign. And for them to continue to blame it on everything under the sun is just the biggest psyop of this generation, I think. She had money, $1 billion worth of money. She had the mainstream media behind her. She had Hollywood behind her. I mean, I didn't even see this many celebrities come out for Obama that came out for Kamala Harris. And like Dorothy at the beginning of The Wizard of Oz, she needed a brain, a heart, and courage. And she didn't have any of that stuff.
Nope.
Yeah, she couldn't answer any questions. She did not relate to everyday Americans because she was inauthentic. And she was a puppet by the globalists and the elites. So this is why she lost. She had everything helping her, going for her, and she lost because of it. She don't have a brain, she don't have a heart, and she don't have the courage.
We still don't know who she is. The policy that they contrived for her, the attitude that they contrived for her, to a large extent, did not fit who she is as a human being. So it was hard for her to remember what they wanted her to say. I believe that if she would have just come out and been her most authentic self, she still would have lost, but it wouldn't have not have been a bloodbath. Because politically, the president wins in a landslide. We get a couple of votes in the Senate. That's a huge win. But to win the House, the Senate, and the White House, that's when America says, y'all need to check yourself. Y'all need to check yourselves. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I think somebody mentioned, I can't remember. I seriously consider that they really are revving up to do something. Again, we look at these protests that are starting. Literally, the next day after the election, they didn't really stop. Maybe a few people here and there scattered. They didn't really stop to say, you know what, let's take a breath. Let's take a step back. No, they went right in to blame everybody else, everything else except for themselves. And as far as that Monday morning meeting, yes, I would love to be there. But I'll say this, Joe Biden doesn't have anything to say. He can get his ice cream cone. He can get his ice cream cone and go to Rehoboth. Because all he got to do is say, well, you know what? I'm out. I have nothing to lose. I'm going to my retirement. I'll see you on the beach at Rehoboth.
Yeah,
I agree. His legacy is cemented. He stepped down when they asked him to. That is his legacy. He saved himself by doing that to be, from being the worst president in American history. That stays squarely with Jimmy Carter. He's the worst president we've ever had. But Joe Biden running a close second to that. But in this moment, he walks into that meeting like a whole G, a capital G, an underlined, italics, bold G, because I told y'all she couldn't beat him. I told you I was the man to do it. Right. I told you I was his wife parading around, the Rose Garden in a hot red Republican suit on election day. You don't think that was trolling? They trolled the hell out of Kamala and her team. And when it became absolutely apparent that she was going to lose, absolutely apparent, that was probably about 6:00 Eastern Standard Time, when people were looking at the polls and they were like, oh, well, the kids from college are just getting out. They're going to go vote and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you mean the Joe Rogan bros? Oh, yeah, come to the polling place, because we know what that's going to look like. Once it became absolutely clear, you started seeing the rats scurrying and jumping off the ship. Kamala was no longer the next thing that was going to happen. Unfortunately, the part of our population that is mentally brainwashed, that is mentally and cognitively working in a deficit because they believe this 24-hour news cycle that says, Democrats are gods, Republicans are evil. We're your neighbors. We're the people that you park next to at the grocery store. We're no different than you are, except for we see the world from a different point of view. Go outside, turn your TV off. Talk to your neighbor and realize it's not us. It's not even you. It's the media that's telling you that you're different, that you're better than. You're not. You put your pants on the same way we do. We've got to get back to being good Americans first. We really have to.
Yeah, we do. And speaking of what you mentioned about this tale that they're trying to push on us, brings us to the Baltimore City mayor. Folks, if you don't know, we are in Baltimore. We're in Maryland. We hail from Baltimore City. We know this man. We know this awful, awful mayor. I don't even know how he got reelected, but he did. And he had the nerve to form his lips to say this. Take a look at this. This is clip 3.
I'm obviously extremely disappointed in the results, but it is clear that there will be a second Trump presidency. It is really on my heart this morning to say that as a man, but more importantly as a black man, that this country does not deserve black women or black people, but specifically black women. This morning I woke up and I just gave my wife a hug because I know how heavy this is weighing on black women. And they have carried this country and saved this country too many times and continue to be the most disrespected human beings on the planet. And it, quite frankly, it disgusts me. I'm thinking about the world that we're going to bring our daughter into in a few months. And I want the vice president to know that her and her team did everything right in the right way. But the unfortunate reality is that this country is still steeped in racism, sexism, and misogyny. I am personally proud of her, and I know that so many others are the same. We appreciate her tenacity, her focus, her decency, and how she handled herself throughout this campaign. And I don't want to hear anybody saying that they should have done something different. She should have been running longer. The fact is that they did everything that a campaign can do and more. But we as a country really have a lot of soul searching to do. And that's really what I want to say about that today. But I want black women to hear from me to know that as a black man, I am going to triple my efforts to lift them up, to make sure that they're supported, to make sure that they're seen, and to make sure that other folks are challenged into understanding that they alone can't be the soul of this democracy, and that they alone can't save us from ourselves time and time again. They alone can't be the people that show up and show up in such a way that folks who are voting against their own best interest that they are saved as well. They can't do it anymore. And we have to be there to understand that reality and lift them up. I don't know everything that a second Trump presidency will bring to Baltimore. But if he follows through on some of his dark, violent promises, we know that we are looking at challenges in the years ahead. But I want Baltimoreans to hear me clearly. We have a lot to be proud of in our leadership in the state and in the city. And I know all of my colleagues in office will agree when I say that Baltimore will always be a place that welcomes and protects our residents, no matter what they look like, who they love, where they were born, or how they choose to live their lives, as long as they're doing it in a legal manner. That will not change. And I will continue fighting for Baltimoreans no matter what.
Wow.
This is how work. What a piece of work. My goodness. Do you know,
Yeah.
there's just so much. There's so much to unpack in that.
It
There's
is.
so much to
It
unpack
is.
that. You know, the obvious thing is, as much as he wants to paint this country as a racist place and all of that other thing, misogynistic place, isn't your black ass elected? How did you become mayor, Mr. Black Man? If racism exists, you are not the type of black man that the average white voter would vote for, right? You're not him. But didn't you just get elected again?
He's been in city government for years.
What bothers me, but from a brother to a sister, on a black note, this woman didn't know you. She wouldn't pick your ass out of a lineup, fam. What are you talking about? You want to hug your wife? I'm all in. I am absolutely pro-family. Love your wife. Love every black woman you come in contact with, especially that 600 black women who are homeless in the city that you're in charge of. When are they going to be a priority for you? When is that going to happen?
Talking about? What was he talking about? Black women have saved this country. I don't know what he means. What is he talking about? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there have never been black women in history, in communities across the country that have done some wonderful, beautiful things. That's not what I'm saying. But what is he talking about? That's number one. Brandon Scott, you little pimp squeak bitch. Another stamp, a bitch. That's what he is. He's staring up these racist antics because, again, I'm telling you, these people are staring up trouble. They are gearing up. He's getting these people itched up and revved up to do something. He called Trump, what did he say? Dark. His dark policies. What
dark and violent?
Dark promises. He said dark
promises in your pocket. To give you more money in your pocket, black people, to get you off of the government tent that Brandon Scott claims and wants to hold you on to. Is that what a dark policy is? The dark policy, what? To give you more information, to more control over your own life, your own family, your community, so that you don't have to go to the bitches like Brandon Scott to beg, borrow, and steal, to give me funds. That's what you're talking about? Brandon Scott, you should be ashamed of yourself. You are low. You are using people mentally, using people, manipulating them. You don't have any incentive to do right by these black women. Hug your wife, absolutely. I mean, do you think that if your wife was that upset, that means that your hug and your support and your care for her is not enough? They're not enough.
Yeah, I want to talk about what he said, about he doesn't know how he's going to bring his daughter into a world like this. First of all, forget the world. Talk about the city that you're bringing your daughter into. Where you got human feces on the streets of City Hall and all through downtown Baltimore. Crime is rampant. Will your daughter be able to go to a public school in Baltimore City? I doubt it. She's going to get failing education. No. She's not going to those schools, KJ. She's not going to those schools. But this is what I'm talking about. He's talking about Donald Trump, and because he got elected, he doesn't know how he's going to bring his daughter into this world. How are you going to let your daughter walk safely down the streets of Baltimore City under your administration? I mean, this is the epitome of psyop. These are Marxists, folks. They are Marxists, and they are trying to push fear mongering and race baiting and all kinds of stuff. Sir, nothing is weighing heavily on me this morning. I am as light as a feather.
Light as a feather.
Right now,
around.
President Trump is not even in office yet. He has not even been through inauguration. He has already appointed the first female chief of staff.
Let's go, Susie.
He has gotten in New York City. They've got $3.1 million back because he convinced that mayor to stop giving these illegals free money. The stock market went up. Bitcoin went up. Hamas is saying we got our weapons. What is he talking about?
See, again, these elitists, these arrogant people, his children are going to be covered by literal 24/7 air supported blackout vans, bulletproof vans, security. They're not going to have to walk the streets of Baltimore that he doesn't want to get cleaned up, or I shouldn't say want to, that he doesn't get cleaned up. Now, I will say this: the murder rates have gone down, the non-fatal shootings have gone down in Baltimore City. That's a good thing. Give credit where credit is due. But Brandon Scott, this is all him whining and weeping because he's a bitch. He's a bitch. All he wants is to remain in power. That's it. His family will not have to experience the depth and the decay that many Baltimoreans experience on a given day. They don't have to go to the same public schools. They won't.
Let me tell you, I've got 2 points. One, although your murder rates are down and your non-lethal shootings are down, it's still exponentially higher than the rest of the state of Maryland.
Absolutely.
So until he can comply and bring himself into the standards that the rest of Marylanders live by, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. You know, the second point I want to make is you've seen this over the course of the last few days since Wednesday morning, where you see these Democrat mayors and Democrat governors coming out saying, you know, things are going to get bad. We're going to have to raise property taxes. And the reason why they're saying this is because when I tell you this first 100 days is going to change the way this nation runs, put your hats on, ladies. It's going to get rough and bumpy in here. If you are a sanctuary city or a sanctuary county, you're going to lose your federal funding until you comply.
Hallelujah.
So when you talk about Baltimore City, when you talk about Montgomery County here in Maryland, when you talk in California, Gavin Newsom was the first one. We're going to fight. With what, bro? You're not going to have any money.
And listen to the language he's using, Nicole. Wes Moore, our governor, said similar language about protecting Marylanders from this new administration. Brandon Scott, when you say you have to protect someone, that implies that their lives or livelihood is in danger, right? So what are they protecting us from? This is the psychology that they're using to get these people revved up. I think, again, I believe it. They are, again, trying to rev up their masses to get them to start some shit.
But let me tell you, Shelley, they got the right ones. Let me tell you, you come down to that inauguration starting some issue if you want to. Baby, one thing I know about the GOP, and I know many things about who we are as human beings and what we do, that ain't the smoke you want. Because if you don't think there are going to be some concealed carries down on that mall, baby, try it if you want to. It is going to be a problem of historic proportions. No one wants civil war. No one wants violence. We all want peace. We want a better country. Sit at home if you can't control yourself. Right. It's not your moment. You'll have your moment, but this ain't it. There are going to be many moments where you can, put your Trump hat on and gloat and carry on and do all of that. But rest assured, if there is going to be violence, and if they think for 1 second we're going to shrink away from that violence, they don't know who we are. We've been too kind. They've mistaken our kindness for weakness. It is not who we are as people. And it's high time that we stop doing this cowering thing. It bothers me greatly when people attack you for just existing, for the bumper sticker that's on your car, for the hat that you have, the t-shirt that you have on, or the way you voted within your own family. It tells me you've not been standing up for yourself. You've not been making it plain and clear that I have the same rights that you have, and I'll believe what I want to believe when I want to believe it. And you don't have a say in that. You don't have a say in that. So if you're going to have some feelings and you choose salty, that's a personal choice. In the meantime, pass the damn greens, because we're going to have Thanksgiving dinner and you're going to get over yourself. Family is family. We have to get out of this situation where we're going to be like, oh, well, I'm the only Republican, so I'm not going to go to dinner and ruin it for everybody. Hell no, I'm showing up MAGA hat, Trump t-shirt, probably going to dance the Macarena.
It's not us. It's not us. We don't even typically start the conversations. We don't even do that. We want to go enjoy family, friends, festivities. We don't start the conversations.
Yeah. Listen, if you're going to Thanksgiving dinner like I am, I'm not necessarily going to start some ish, but if there's going to be ish, I'm going to bring my ish with me. Click that like button. Click that like button if you're going loaded for bear for that one relative who thinks that he or she is everything, and that transgenderism is everything, and they're the ones who start the political conversation, but everybody else at the table is looking at you going, don't say nothing. Don't, not this year. Start that ish if you want to. Start it if you want to. It's going to be a whole problem this Thanksgiving. We deserve our minute in the sun. For those of us who worked really hard to get the president elected, we've been partying. Don't get me wrong. We've been doing a lot of celebrating. But come Monday, all hands on deck to push forward this nation, because it's not enough to win. Winning is great. It feels really good. Right. But the work begins in moving the nation forward. And again, it's much easier if we have everybody on board. If there are a couple of people who feel some kind of way, the poor young Black girl who's in that video talking about she's going to wake up a slave. Can I tell you, baby, you already a slave? You was a slave when you woke up the day before. You were a slave.
Right. You made that video.
Freedom is not free. Freedom requires responsibility. It requires accountability. And it is a tough thing to have, especially when you're a single woman. When I'm a widow, when you're a widow, it's definitely hard to be a single woman, especially in super expensive Maryland. Maryland is a high dollar place to live. So your grind has got to be exponentially better than someone else. With that said, you don't get the luxury of crying tears talking about being a slave. Girl, wipe your face, put your big girl panties on, and come get it. Come get the bag, secure the bag.
And one thing I want to say about something you said about the holidays, I have a message. First of all, we saw in this, before this election, we as conservatives, especially conservatives living in a liberal state, we felt like we were a minority. We felt like we had to cower. Many of us always took the high road and said, when we got stuff said to us, whether it's at family functions and things, social events and things, we said, you know what, I'm going to turn the other cheek. I don't want to cause any waves. And we just, let things go by. And a lot of us did that. Many conservatives don't post about their political leanings on social media and things like that. You can't talk about it on your job. But leftists do. These Democrats, these people on the left, they talk about this stuff all the time. They assume that you are Democrat, particularly if you are Black. They assume and then and go on like this. But now we have the election, and we know that a majority of the country voted for Donald J. Trump. We know this. It's a new day. It's a new day. So now, especially those of us who know the Lord, we are Bible believers, there is no fear. There is no fear. There is professionalism on your job. There is reason. There is, you can carry yourself, with some, with coof and an air about yourself. But when they step to you now, you have a majority of the country behind you.
Absolutely.
If you want to post on social media about who you voted for, about how you don't like boys and girls sports, about how you don't want your children being told about gender ideology and dildos for kids and all this type of stuff, say it, because you have the country behind you. And do not be afraid. Do not be afraid, because that is not of God. It is not of God. It is a trick of the devil. And we should not be afraid. We should stand firm. Again, I'm not telling people to start anything, but if they bring it, you better be give it right back to them, because I certainly am. I am.
Be aware and prepare. Be aware and prepare. That's
absolutely.
There's a song by Celine Dion. You're talking about New Day. Celine Dion has a song, and it's called "A New Day Has Come." That's number one. To your point, KJ, I've said before. Stand up, show up, strap up, and speak up. That's basically that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do. These are just people, okay? Like you said, we can go and we can have dinner, break bread, whatever, knowing that people around the table do not agree with us on certain politics. We can live with that. We can live with that. We don't try to embarrass you. We don't try to harm you. We don't try to just, change the whole atmosphere and bring it all on you. But I tell you one damn thing. I am an American. Like Langston Hughes said, I too sing America. I too signed on the dotted line. And the same damn oaths that I put on the uniform and it said U.S. Army, that I went overseas and stood up and carried the front line, if you will, in that sense, the same damn right that I stood on for my country, for you all, you better know, God damn it, I'm sorry. You better know that those same rights, and I will exercise them. I don't have to agree with you. You don't have to agree with me. We don't even have to like each other. If my neighbor, I've said this before, my neighbor can be a card-carrying KKK member. As long as there are crosses burning, don't mess with my property. As long as they don't impede me coming and going into my livelihood. Burn whatever you want on your property. Do whatever you want on your house or whatever it may be. But leave mine alone. I don't care. I've been at that point, and even more so. Again, these are the kinds of people that I would rather not do anything with you. I know that you're in my workspace, you're in our work, whatever. We're going to be cordial. But I tell you what, you will not silence us.
Right. And let me say this before we move on. Let me say this to my white conservative brothers and sisters. Don't let them shame you.
I know that's right. I know that's right. I know that's right. That is such an egregious thing. Like the moment that Joy Reid realized that there wasn't some mistake in their counting of ballots, the very first thing she did was blame white women. And then she called them uneducated. And then she called them a bunch of other names. Here's the thing. White, black, or indifferent, you have a brain. And God gifted you with the ability to have discernment and thought. You took a look at your choices and you made a cognitive choice to choose who you chose, right? Don't let people tell you because your skin is a certain color that you got to do a certain thing. Don't let people we as black conservatives, especially black conservative women, you would think that we would follow the lead of the Democrat Party simply because they like putting black women in positions of power because they think that's going to make black men follow them. Well, black men stood up during this election, and black women stood up during this election too. White women, black men, I mean, across the board, America resoundingly said no. And they're still saying no. And the number of people who watched The View like I did with some popcorn and some lemonade to watch their heads explode. It was so gratifying because when people keep telling you that you're nothing, when people keep telling you that you don't count, that your voice should not be heard, not cannot be heard, but should not be heard unless you agree with us. When those people finally get their lick, when they finally get their comeuppance, yeah, America should tune in. Yeah, America should have popcorn, maybe a beer or two to celebrate. I know it comes on in the morning, but you know what, KJ, don't judge me. It was a long week. People partied their faces off watching these people who have scolded us for more than a year. And not one of them said, you know what, I'm sorry, we got it wrong.
Oh, no, never.
They don't have that in their system to do.
And you know what, like we said the other day, we won, and yes, I'm excited. I take all kinds of celebratory moments in that. Donald Trump in his administration, we had 2 years because the midterms are coming. To all of you Republicans and conservatives who don't get on board and put these changes in that we have long wanted and asked for, and we know that they are good and right and constitutional, midterms are coming. So this is to our side too. You want to play these little touchy-feely games and wishy-washy? No, we're not doing the same first term like we did to Donald J. Trump in his first term.
Look what they're trying to do. Mitch McConnell is trying to throw a wrench into Donald Trump's agenda and the agenda of them. I mean, do you all think that it looks like he has his hands behind who they're going to put up to be the Speaker of the Senate Majority Leader?
Senate Majority Leader, yeah.
But he has a say, if you will, in that, because he's the leader now. This is all behind the scenes. But I'm talking about these policies. The policies that Donald J. Trump and his administration are going to put forth, largely good policies or whatever. If the Republicans and the conservatives, especially since we have the majority, if they don't get on board, reducing taxes, getting our borders safe, cleaning up the streets, if you will, as far as crime, holding these cities accountable in these sanctuary policies, reducing regulations, things like that. If they don't put these things in play, they will have, like Nicole said, their comeuppance too in the midterms.
Absolutely. Midterms are right behind you.
Yeah. All right, folks, we got to acknowledge our super chatters. Thank you guys so much. Nikki Clark, which became a freedom seeker. She joined the Freedom Seekers Club. Guys, this is a great way to support us. Also, we put out content for only our freedom seekers, and then you get special emojis and loads of other stuff. So join the Freedom Seekers Club. It's a great way to support. Thank you so much, Nikki. Laura, the $10 super chat says KJ, Shelly, and Nicole are doing great. I love you. God bless. God bless you too.
God bless you more.
LAPD Swap with a $5 super chat says, who and why is the alphabet agenda being pushed? Marxism. They're trying to destroy us, weaken us. Lena with the $10 super chat says, educated woman, USAF veteran, and legal immigrant here, and I voted for Trump.
Thank you, Lena. Thank you for the
way to go, Lena.
Tijuana border jumper with the $5 super chat said, I would vote Nicole for president. A very wise woman. She could have you all in her cabinet. All right, Tijuana.
Listen, I'd run. Play with me, Tijuana. I'll run.
No compromise with a $25 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, here's the deal. What if she had one and all their dreams came true? Would any one of them had said, okay, it's done. America is not racist. It's over now. America is fair for all. No, they wouldn't. That's absolutely right. They wouldn't. They always want something to complain about. You know, even with the guns that if you give them an inch, they're just going to take. What else can they say? What else can they be a victim of? Brown Eyes with the $5 super chat says Newsom and other leaders in other liberal states are planning to sue Trump. Wow.
Yes, they are.
They'll keep trying.
Yeah. Laura with the $5 super chat says this guy is a mayor of what? WTF. Right. Yeah. Kung Fu CJ said, I had to do this, KJ. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment was passed because of the GOP. 1,200 plus whites were hung for helping blacks. Exactly. Whites and blacks were fighting right alongside each other, even in the Civil War.
Yes.
People are crazy. No compromise with the $20 super chat. Oh my gosh. We appreciate you so much.
So blown away by you guys. Yeah.
Yes. Says day 5, rights still intact. No military in sight, and they haven't called to get my size for my handmade uniform.
Look, if it's gonna be a handmade uniform, it's gonna be red, so we all gonna look good.
Right. Susie Q98 with the $5 super chat says Trump already day a top cut group coming from Mexico by talking to the president about tariff.
He stopped the group coming from Mexico. Okay.
Oh yeah,
because there was like 25,000 people or something.
Yeah, Taliban wants to compromise. He hasn't gotten in office yet. No compromise. And the $10 super chat says Trump gives permission for people to love their country again, to have fun, to laugh and make a joke and not be policed or canceled. This is what we're all about.
Absolutely true.
Absolutely
true.
Brown Eyes was a $2 super chat. Says DT said he will place limits in leadership roles.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, definitely. I hope they put on term limits. If that's what you're talking about, term limits, I'm for that. No compromise with the $5 super chat. Yup, folks, this is now called the No Compromise Show.
That's right.
Says white educated female Trump voter, loud and proud. Yes, mama. Right on with that. All right.
Right. Yeah. You know, another thing Trump has done this week, from what I understand, his transition team is funded privately. So that the government funds, that mean they can't infiltrate for the most part. They have up these walls, so to speak. Private funding for the transition team. He can use whomever he wants. He don't have to rely on some deep state operative, if you will, trying to get in there and muck up stuff. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, so I mean, getting ready for that first 100 days is, and you know, the first 100 days of anybody's presidency, the world is watching to see really what your priorities are, because the first things you're going to do when you get in office, and it is so good not to hear the stories leaking like his first term, right? It's so good not to have stories or rumors about the infighting, because you know, his first term, they kept saying it was a White House of chaos. Well, you know, there are a bunch of people. He's not a politician. He had no background. So it took him a few minutes to get his feet under him. This is much better, because everything that is happening is being corralled and siloed only to those who need to know. And once they make a decision and they're ready to roll it out, it's coming out slowly but surely. Again, he's still president-elect. He has not been sworn. You know, January 20 at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, we're going to see him raise his right hand, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. It's going to be a beautiful thing.
It's going to be history.
We'll be there.
This is what we've been fighting for. We've been praying for. I am so happy that he was elected. Yeah. And you know, folks, we've been giving you the meat and the potatoes. We've been fattening you up all night with all the meat, the potatoes, the green beans, the collard greens. Now we got to give you some dessert. So I want to finish out the show with The View losing their minds with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith came on The View, and he was giving it to them so badly, and you could see Sonny Hostin sitting there just fuming. She was
going up her neck.
He was pushing back against everything they were pushing out, all the leftism, all the blaming, all the victim hood, and he was knocking them down one by one. This is the dessert for tonight.
It's good.
Look here. This is the clip here. All right, I want to go through this.
Democrats was flying high.
Here we are. Okay, so let me see here. All right. I have a part here I want to get to. Oh, I think this is okay. This is where what people have not said is she, meaning Kamala Harris, was there the entire time. This man, Biden, is a threat he's the threat to democracy because he wasn't all there. And she lied. She sat there and supported his presidency. She said that he was the sharpest knife in the cabinet. She said that he was rolling on all cylinders. And he obviously wasn't. And she never, ever answered for that in the campaign. She never said why she sat by and watched this degenerative, old, senile man continue to be president and not speak up and say, or at least say, you know what, I did mention to him, hey, you know, this doesn't seem like are you sure you want to continue to run? You don't seem, you know, like you're all there. No, instead they lied to us when conservatives came out and said it. They said, there's nothing there. Oh, you guys. So, yeah.
You're being partisan. Yeah, he really didn't fall up the steps. You're being partisan.
The rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we are. I want to acknowledge Nikki Clark with the $5 super chat.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. She says, happy Veterans Day to all. God bless America. And here's to our new and brighter future. I have love for you all and wish you nothing but prosperity.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you so much.
No compromise. Just freedom seeker, our Freedom Seekers Club. Thank you so much. And Barb with the $15. She was
It's not about who you're going up against when you know.
He's
talking about Sunny.
Right to her face. Right to her face.
No.
And look at her face. She's sucking on a bunch of lemons. Sucking on a bunch of lemons.
She's so mad.
It is so good. Oh, it's so good.
Right? Even if it is 1% of the population, you all made it a major issue.
Exactly. Right. That's his point. Right. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. Abortion. Only what was it? 5% of women.
0.5. 0.5 and 0.5 in any year. That's what he's trying to tell. Look at her body language. She is livid.
She's pissed.
This is what we're talking about, though. You all Democrats made these your running issues, your major issues. Transgender, abortion.
Exactly. That's what he said. That you all let the extreme basically run the agenda.
Yep. Here we are.
That's that.
She's nasty. First of all, what is she talking about? Anybody that watches her show, which we don't, but we see the clips and things, they talk about abortion, trans, LGBT. That's all they talk about. If you listen to them just alone, you would think those are the major issues, and people are turned off by that crap. But
she is livid. She is thieving, and she's still, again, she's saying this to the 90% of people who are under the bell curve, like he's saying, who live in the center. This is why they're going to keep losing. This is why Sunny is the bitch.
Folks, please hit the like button, hit that like button, and subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. We need those likes. Thank you so much. I want to continue on with this. It's almost done.
Think of a sports guy. What about riding a...
Go ahead.
Oh no, I know Stephen A. Smith reminds me of Bill Maher. He's a typical classical liberal in a sense. I know he's a sports analysis or whatever. And but I didn't really know a lot about Stephen Smith. Maybe within this last year. And I don't have to agree with him on everything, but I appreciate his boldness. He's bringing it right to Sunny and Joy's face. He's sitting right where I want to sit. Right there. Right. And but they are livid. They just do, they're not going to hear and understand him. Listen to Sunny. Oh, you peons, because you don't listen to me, because you have to work and take care of your child. You don't have time to sit in traffic all day being chauffeured. You don't get that luxury. You got to actually go out there and hump and go to work. Because you peons don't do those things and you don't live where I live, then it's your fault that you're not self-introspective. You're not thinking about why you voted. No, we won. We won.
You know, the crazy thing about the whole thing is, and I'm going to say this honestly, I do have a 2-hour drive to work. I live in one part of the state. I work in another part of the state. And I do listen to the news, even liberal news, because sometimes for me, it doesn't make sense where they're coming from.
Right.
You know, so I want to listen to them and I want to get past all the hyperbolic emotionalism and find out what inside of their hearts thinks this is a good idea. And it takes some time. Sometimes it takes all the 2 hours.
No, I get that. We are political, whatever you want to call it, junkies. Okay. So that's a little bit different. But by and large, your average, again, people out there working, they don't have time to listen to Sunny like that. She comes on, her show comes on 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. These people are at work, humping and scraping and whatever, getting it. They don't have time to do that.
Listen, listening to the regular news.
Her nose up at them.
And that's the problem. I was going to say this. This is the problem with that. Even listening to the news, it never brings me to the place where she is. Exactly. She's in a very elitist place. She's in the place where I'm right, you're wrong, and it doesn't matter that 75 million people disagree with me. I'm right, and all of you are absolutely wrong. She's looking at him like, I don't even know why they let you on the set. She's unwilling and unyieldingly, blissfully ignorant. And that is dangerous. That is absolutely dangerous. Absolutely dangerous.
Nasty and ignorant. That is a terrible combination. Right. Elitist, smug. Yes. I mean, this woman is, I don't even know her. I think I did meet her once. But to have this much disdain for someone you don't even know, I try not to do that, But she is just, she rubs me the wrong way. She does not seem like a nice person at all. She's so hateful. And folks, I really want to understand, how can you even watch the show if you're white? I mean, she talks so bad about white people. She has compared white women to cockroaches. She called you stupid. Mm-hmm. She called you all types of names. I don't understand how those ladies that are up there with her that are white can even sit next to her. She dismisses everything they say. Ooh. She's, it's just terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah. We got some more supers.
Yes, want to acknowledge our super chats here, guys. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, rocking with us late night on a Saturday night.
No compromise.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you so much.
$30 super chat says, what people who you put down and called names, men who you said were useless and toxic, women you called uneducated and stupid, didn't show up for you? Shocker. Right. Exactly. That's what I was just saying. Kung Fu CJ. Thank you for $5 super chat.
Thank you.
Says, KJ, Nicole, and Shelly is why I post your show on my Facebook page.
Thank you.
Folks, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. What are you waiting for? Mm-hmm. All right. The Ringmaster with the $5 super chat says, you ladies rock. Thank you for your clear-eyed, brutally honest commentary that, like conservatives, is sober and joyous.
Absolutely.
We're gonna have a good holiday this time, right? This year.
Yes.
Laura Batiste Malandado, $2 super chat says she has steam coming out of her.
Yes.
Nasty bad.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she did.
Wow.
All right, folks. Well, that does it for us tonight. We have wanted to bring you all of that commentary that we saw there, especially about the Baltimore City mayor. I mean, that was
just sad.
Yeah, it was. I don't see how he could even continue to be the mayor. I mean, you have to be mayor of a city. We are predominantly Black, but of all people, and to make those comments, it just was awful. So. But that does it for us tonight. I want to give you, ladies, final thoughts for us tonight. I'll start with you, Nicole. Anything you want to just final thoughts for the viewers?
Listen, I got one more day of partying before Monday comes. Right? So it is my dear friend Robin Barnes's birthday, and I'm here in Virginia, and she's upstairs hiding from me being on the camera. But she is an amazing, wonderful Republican from the state of Michigan, and she is also celebrating Michigan flipping their state house.
Yeah.
Finally, you talking about chipping away at that Democrat blue wall? That wall came tumbling down, and we are aiming to keep these seats. So, Monday starts work. Tonight, we'll probably have a couple of 5 more bottles of wine. And, I'll be at church tomorrow. Pastor JJ, don't worry. I'll be at church tomorrow. But we're going to have a good time up until Monday. And then Monday, a new kind of joy starts. The joy in rebuilding this great nation. And I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
All right. Shelly, final thoughts for the viewers.
Look, I'm going to go and play that Celine Dion song. It's a new day. I'm going to play that. I used to love that song. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm going to remind everybody again, stand up, strap up, speak up, show up. I'm going to say happy Veterans Day to all of the veterans out there. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. I don't take it for granted. I know you don't. And look, I just love you all. Thank you for that. And I am just going to rest the rest of the weekend. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rest because joy comes in the morning. So I'm going to rest in it.
All right. Yes, happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans, including Shelly, our very own Shelly here.
Absolutely.
She's a hardcore veteran, and we thank her for her service and is all that she does and brings to us. We love you, Shelly, and all of the veterans out there. Thank you for your service. I want to end, as I generally do, on Bible, Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. We are a force. We are a force, folks, and we have God behind us. We have the truth behind us. Stand firm on it. Do not be fearful. Stand strong. And so until next time, we'll be back on Monday night at 9 p.m. Live a life of purpose. Count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.